So here we are in the airport in Phnom Penh. It's about 10:30 in the evening, our time on Saturday. We fly out in a little bit over an hour. It's Saturday morning for you guys. You guys are just getting out of bed. And we thought we would recap our trip before we get in the air. So we're flying from here to Seoul, South Korea. We have about a 10-hour layover, just shy of 10 hours. So we're hoping we might be able to get out. There's tour buses that go from the airport around the city, so we're hoping that we might be able to do that. But we're pretty tired.
Yeah.
The first week we were here wasn't real exhausting, but the second week was. You saw some of the videos of just the places that we went. And
a lot of traveling.
Yeah, a lot of traveling. Slept on a hard floor last night. Had 8 hours on the back of a dirt bike in monsoon rain. It seemed like at times.
Oh man, my knees are recovering.
So pretty tiring. So we're hoping to get some sleep on the plane. When we get back, we land in Portland at about 3:40 p.m. Sunday, and then we have a 4-hour drive home.
Yeah, I actually land at about noon in Portland. We have a different flight from Seattle to Portland, so I'll have to wait at the Portland airport for about 3 hours.
So you can take a nap while you're waiting for me.
Yeah, I could.
And then you can drive home since you might be well rested.
Maybe.
So anyway, we're sitting here having this last cup of Cambodian coffee. That was good timing. We both raised our cups together. Unplanned.
This is a mistake because I want to sleep, but I had to have it one last time.
Cambodian iced coffee. There's no words for it. It's like hopes and dreams in a cup.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a barista.
Right. Anyway, what were we talking about? So, we were sitting here talking about just kind of some takeaways from the trip, and so you had a couple cool takeaways. So why don't you share maybe a couple takeaways that you have?
I think one thing is I was really inspired by seeing how involved the people in the church are, like just the regular people that go to church. It seemed to me like everyone in the church is heavily involved, and but it makes a lot of sense here because they have to leave behind a lot most of the times. Like they could be outcasts from their families because of their faith, and so I mean, if they're going to leave behind their whole life for that, then they better be dedicated to it. But I think that's something that we in America can definitely learn from, because it's so much easier to be a Christian there, and like I feel like the church really does thrive under persecution because faith has to be stronger.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but it was really cool seeing how much work is being done in Cambodia. So
yeah, pretty inspiring to say the least. I think for me, I think Caden has some similar takeaways to my first trip because he's taking it all in like I was 2 years ago. And now that I've been here and had more of an expectation, I think for me the takeaway is that we have some good relationships with people in Cambodia, and I think those relationships were strengthened over this last couple of weeks. We got to go to some places that I didn't get to go my last trip, and so we just got to see more of what Water of Life does and the people involved with it. And there's a lot to it. There really is. But we spent a lot of time in rural Cambodia. We spent a lot of time in the city as well, but we really got out of the city to some really remote places and saw kind of what I would consider to be real Cambodia. There's no Western influence in a lot of the places that we went, or no Chinese influence in the places that we went. It's just what Cambodia has always been, rural villages out in the rice fields, and we got to go and spend quite a bit of time in some various places that fit that description.
Those were my favorite things to see, honestly. That's what I wanted to see when I came here.
And likewise, though, it's inspiring to see people who have committed their lives to Christ, and then the people that are connected with Water of Life that make long trips out into these rural areas to encourage those people. Today, our last day here, we spent the day out at a remote village at a pastor's conference that happens every month with Curtis. You probably saw the video on that. And it was just really encouraging to see these rural pastors, many of them in their 50s and 60s, and they're rice farmers, so they work day jobs, but they're committed to being pastors and committed to studying the Bible and learning more. And it was just inspiring, really inspiring to see.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I mean, there's probably a lot that we could say, but maybe just as a summary, those are kind of a couple big takeaways, both for Caden and I, as we're sitting here in the airport. We were talking about that in some ways it feels like we just got here, and in other ways it feels like we've been here for a long time.
Yeah, it went by really fast, but it seems like we've been gone from home for like, it feels like at least 2 months for me. So.
And I think that's part of why, for my takeaway, feeling like the relationships were strengthened. It does feel like we've been here for a long time, and we got to spend some significant amount of time with a handful of people that I think was beneficial, certainly for us, hopefully for them as well. I think it was, but certainly beneficial for us. And to hear stories, even of some of the Americans that are here and why they uprooted their lives and moved to a foreign country to engage in the work of the gospel. And so, yeah, just good stuff. So we're looking forward to sharing in more detail and some pictures next week at service. But for now, when you guys gather at church, we'll probably be somewhere over the Pacific Ocean. And so you can pray for us. Hopefully sleeping. Pray that we can get some sleep, because we're both pretty tired. And
Not
then
anymore.
We'll drive home. That'll wear off fast. He's going to hit a wall pretty soon.
I really hope so, because I want to sleep. It's been a while.
So anyway, we just want to thank everybody for their prayer support. First and foremost, that's the most important thing for both Calvary Chapel La Pine and First Baptist Church Prineville. Thank everybody that gave to the trip. We were able to leave a contribution with Water of Life to go towards rice. And we were able to just bless some of the people there by sharing meals with them and spending time with them, and that's because of your guys' support. Super encouraging to us to get to FaceTime into the prayer meetings as they happened, and to know that you guys are praying for us while we were here. We talked to Steve a few times, and Steve always prayed with us as well, and those things are just super, super encouraging. So thank you guys for that. Any last thought you want to share before we sign off?
Well, I don't know if I've said this yet, but I am really thankful that, if you're from Chad's church, I'm really thankful that you guys included me in this. And Chad's the only one of you guys that knew me, and was like, hey, let's let this 19-year-old kid go on this trip with Chad. I was like, pretty great for me. So
I was pretty apprehensive, but it was good. I'm joking, sort of.
I'm really happy that I was able to come.
Yeah, no, me too. You have been really great here. You've been a complete joy. We've got along very well the whole trip, and it's been really good.
We've
and
only
beneficial.
Argued about 3 times a day.
So I'm glad that it worked out. Glad that you were able to come, and glad to know that your church was praying for us as well and supporting you in this. And So anyway, we're going to be boarding a plane here, hopefully in about the next 30 to 45 minutes. And maybe we'll do a video from South Korea that we might be able to share. But if not, we'll see you all when we get back.
Yeah. Bye.